right. Looks like everyone.
Hey, what's up, Will?
How you doing?
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey, Dewan. Can you move your camera so we can see more of your head and less of your
I
lower?
got you.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted the no harm right there. You like that?
Yeah. There you go. Representing. Are we live?
We are live.
All right. Okay. Okay. We're waiting on the mayor, and we will proceed. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Everyone, don't look so scared. Okay. So what we will do as we wait for the mayor is kind of frame what our youth virtual town hall is going to be about. And a large part of this is us being able to, as I said, hear from young people, hear from you all about your experiences so that we can learn. Also, we have the benefit of having not only an older person here with us who happens to himself be a young person, but we also have our mayor, who's a father, and we also happen to have a county council person who is an educator and by her own right able to engage in this conversation and hopefully give some information so that we can proceed through this conversation. We also have Ronche Clark, who's representing the city's Department of Recs and Parks, which definitely interfaces with young people. Are you all familiar with Pitt Moyer Recreation Center and Stanton Center and some of our city parks? That's what that department handles. So today's town hall is something that is of the utmost importance to this city being able to do what it does, but also to create a stronger infrastructure so that we can propel ourselves into the future. And the future happens to be you all, happens to be the young people that live in our city. And we've been blessed enough with having a large spectrum of young people from Annapolis, from elementary school to middle school to high school and even college, plus one young council person, as I said. So this town hall is important for so many reasons, because we all know that COVID-19 has impacted all of us, and as adults, we're able to, such as myself, able to speak on it. We're able to rationalize certain things, and we're also able to communicate in pretty clear terms the challenges that we are facing, whether it's work, whether we're business owners, and then navigating all of those things, we're able to talk to our colleagues and people we work with and family and stuff like that in very clear terms. What we also know is that we need to hear from young people. And the reason why we need to hear from young people is because young people have the capacity to observe a lot of things that us older people might not necessarily see, and then we might see it in different ways. So this right here is our opportunity to learn new ways for us to be of service to young people and to be of service to you all. And not just through work, but also as parents and through families. So to all the adults tuning in, this is kind of my public service announcement. To all of us adults that are tuning in, we want you to please listen deeply to the young people who have generously and bravely given themselves up to be here today as part of this town hall. So I want to applaud you all and thank you all. But remember that we're listening because we care about them. And more importantly, because they have ideas and answers that we need to hear, and we need to hear them right now. So our panelists today, our introduction will be from our mayor, Gavin Buckley, who is himself a parent of teens. And when he joins us, he will give us an introduction. We also have Alderman Dewan Gay from Ward 6, and he's the council person for that ward. We have Mo Lloyd, who's a community organization, nonprofit organization worker, as well as a college student himself. And we have Akil Leggett Jr., who goes to Annapolis Middle School. How are you doing, Akil? All right. So as we proceed, you all will need to unmute yourself if you're going to speak, because you're muted and we can't hear you otherwise. And next we have Stephen Fuentes. And Stephen is a student at Annapolis High School. How are you doing, Stephen? All right. We have Sam and John Thomas Packler, and they are at Annapolis Middle School as well as Eastport Elementary. And we also have their brother, who's joining us also, I can see. And this will be exciting to hear from all those different ages elementary as well. We also have Sarah Ramalosa, who is a student at Annapolis Senior High School. And we have Raphael Clavery, who's a student at Annapolis Middle School. How are you doing, Raphael? And then we also have Yolanda Carter, who's a student at Annapolis Senior High School. How are you doing, Yolanda?
Good.
All right. So for those that are watching, we want you to feel free to send your questions on Facebook or YouTube so that we have an opportunity to ask some of the questions that you all have that are viewing this. Our mayor, Gavin Buckley, is here, and it looks as though either the room he's in is turning upside down, or he has his camera or phone turned sideways. So we're going to ask it. There we go. There we go. All right. And so we're going to jump right into it. I want to remind you all that social distancing is something that we take very serious at City Hall and in our city for reasons that I hope we all know by now, which is we want to protect others, and we also want to protect ourselves and our families and people that we will be around. So I'd like to introduce the mayor of our city of Annapolis, Mayor Gavin Buckley. You're muted.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
You get me on here or not?
No, it's not working.
Okay, so hi everybody. Wave if you can hear me. So we are working, this is just on one of our phones. We're working this onto our desktop now. I want to thank everybody for being here. It is very important for us to hear your voices. I'm not going to talk for long today because this is really about hearing from young people. But I want to let you all know that you are living through history. We are going to be taught this in school, just like we're taught about depressions, because this is a depression, world wars, all the things that you learn at school. We're going to go back to this moment and remember when this pandemic hit the world. I want to commend you all for how you're all conducting yourself. You've been doing a great job, and I know it must be hard to stay inside, and it must be funny to hear your parents who have been telling you off for so long for being on your screens, the amount of time that you are, and now they want you to stay on your screen instead of go outside. But they are only doing this because they love you and they want to keep you safe. So I would also like to say, be kind to your parents, because we are all working this out as we go along. I say this all the time for young people. We are going to make decisions now. This world is going to be different on the other side of the coronavirus. And we're going to make a lot of decisions about how we change the world. And we need young people to have a seat at the table when we make those decisions, because we are making those decisions for you. You've always been on the forefront of what's right and what's good about this planet. We know that young people are standing up for the environment every single day and making us proud, standing up against guns, all those kinds of issues that I care passionately about. But this issue is going to change the world, and I want to know what you think. So let's get ahead with this meeting. But please remember, we are going to get through this. There is going to be a time when you can hug your grandparents. There is going to be a time when you can go to a show and hear some music or or go to a restaurant with your friends. And there'll also be a time when you'll get to play sport again and go to a game. So that is going to come, but we have to be careful now. And I want to hear your input on what things I should be doing. So thank you all for being here.
All right, thank you, Mayor Buckley. Next, it says I'm muted. Thank you, Mayor Buckley. Next, we're going to have Alderman Dewan Gay, who's going to speak to some of the things that we prefaced earlier. Dewan?
Can you hear me now? Awesome. So first, I just want to, thank everybody for, being here, volunteering your time, and just expressing your concerns. I just want to echo some of the words that Gavin had mentioned. It's so important that young people are involved in the political process on all levels. And, this is exactly what we wanted in having the conversation with young people and bringing them to the table. And to take it a step further, we just recently passed legislation in the city of Annapolis that creates a youth commission. And it basically allows young people to do what you're doing now, to serve on a commission with the city of Annapolis and express your concerns, tell what you'd like to see change, what you like in the city. So this is important. I first wanted to say that. But on the topic of COVID-19, it's also critically important that, we recognize how important it is for us as young people to take it serious and take it to the next level. That they are basically saying that we could potentially not so much, may not be as susceptible to the virus as older people, but we could potentially be carriers and pass that on to our grandparents and our parents and people that we care about. So that's first and foremost. And, for young people, that means understanding and realizing what it means to practice social distancing in our communities and not gathering in large groups, following the governor and the county executives' mandates and wearing the mask when you're in large groups and when you're in stores and when you're shopping and partaking in activities like that. And also just in practicing, general safe health practices, washing your hands whenever you're out and touching things in common areas. So, I'm impressed with, how quickly we've got the message here in the city of Annapolis. I felt in the first weeks, we got out to a slow start, but we definitely have improved. And I think to commend our young people for taking it seriously, taking the next step, not going out and abandoning the rules and gathering with our friends, which I know can be difficult. I miss gathering with my friends just as much as the next person. So I understand how difficult that may be. But again, I just wanted to say I'm completely grateful for all of you joining here and letting us hear your concerns.
All right, thank you, Alderman Gay. Next up, we will have Mo Lloyd, growing up in Annapolis and an Annapolitan. How you doing, Mo?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mo Lloyd, as Will just said. I am a senior at Frostburg State University, studying in law and society and political science with a minor in sociology. Actually, I've been in Annapolis my whole life. Right now, I live in Ward 2, but before that, I lived in Ward 6, which is Alderman Gay's ward, as he once said earlier. But growing up in Annapolis, what you all are facing right now, I have never seen anything like this in my life. It was, I think the craziest situation I ever went through while I was in school was the swine flu. But the swine flu is nothing like this pandemic because we were still in school. So I know it could be a bit frustrating for you all. As Dewan said, like hanging with your friends, going to the mall, like that was an essential part of my childhood. Like I remember that vividly. So I can't really say I understand your frustration completely because I don't understand it because I didn't go through what you all are going through right now. But I must say you all are much more stronger and more disciplined than I will. I know I'll be going crazy right now if I was raised. But you gotta look at the positives in the situation, even though there aren't many. Well, some people will believe that there are not a lot of positives, but I believe that it's false because during this time, you have so much free time, so you can also learn how to do stuff, learn more about politics or a simple situation that, something that you always wanted to learn about, but you never really had the free time. So I think the free time is you all advantage, and I think you all should really take advantage of that outside of your schoolwork. And I think that's one of the things that I excelled in life. At 19, I decided that I was going to start my own nonprofit organization, which is Superior Future. And that nonprofit organization basically helped the youth in Annapolis, trying to bring programs and all types of situations to the communities in Annapolis. And I really want everybody to excel. So I hope that you all are taking advantage of this and trying to find new ways to excel in life. And look at the positives of the situation, because this storm will not last forever, trust me. But right now, the best thing to do is social distancing, staying in the house, just reading a book. Take advantage of your time. That's all I really have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo. Those are good words, and we appreciate you. Thank you. So next we have our county councilwoman, Lisa Ravian, who represents District 6 and in Anne Arundel County Council. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so
Okay.
much for letting me join you today. I'm mainly here to listen, but since I'm here, I wanted to introduce myself so you all know that you've got a voice on the county, at the county government as well as the city government. And just so you have an idea of some of the things the county government does, one of the biggest things we do that impacts your lives very directly as young people is we create the budget for the county. And the biggest single piece of the county budget is the public school system. As Mr. Rao mentioned at the beginning of this event, I'm a public school teacher. And when I first came to Annapolis, I was a teacher at Annapolis High School. And my experience there is actually probably the main thing that led me to run for office. I just saw too many kids falling through the cracks that had given up, and it shouldn't be that way. And I didn't feel like I had the resources to help all the kids that I knew needed help. We needed more adults, to provide support for young people. And I'm so, thankful to hear folks like, I don't know if we've met before, Mo, but the organization that or your nonprofit that you started sounds really really exactly what our city needs more of. And I know Alderman Gay, taking leadership and trying to find ways to make our city better. But I think a lot of it is trying to find ways to make it better for young people. So I am here for you. I'm going to just type my email address, because one thing you might guess, you might not have really thought about this, but because of everything that's happening in the economy, the county budget is going to be squeezed really tightly. So we're going to have to make decisions about, what should be the highest priority for spending. And if you think about what are the most important things in the schools for the county to be, making sure that those are prioritized, I want to hear from you, because no one is going to be more directly impacted than you. So I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and please, I don't know who's on Facebook. Feel free to share it over on Facebook, and please shoot me a message. I want to hear from you. And thanks for including me, and I'll pass it off to, now it's my turn to listen to you. That's hopefully
Yes.
the main.
Yes. Thank you so much. So just briefly, we're going to ask Ronshay Clark to tell us a little bit about kind of some of the challenges of our parks and recreation and facilities, and kind of what's coming down the pipe for young people that we can look forward to.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ronshay Clark. I'm representing Parks and Rec at the Fifth Warner Center. I think that right now, a lot of our young people, having conversations and with them, I think that they're suffering because of the anxiety of just sitting in the home. However, they want to come out and, have that social life. I think that a lot of times us having these Zoom conversations and conferences and different things of showing them that we actually care and we are actually wanting to hear what they have to say. I think that that is very important. And a lot of the conversations that they're saying, you know, when are we going to be heard? What can we say? What can we do to change what's going on right now? You know, it's just a lot of up in the air. And I think that this is awesome just to hear what it is that they have to say, because there's so much that they want to say. They just didn't have the time to do it. So I think that this is phenomenal, and I think that they're going to go great with it. And that's pretty much all.
Thank you. So I know Mayor Buckley, I don't want to put him on the spot at all, but I know one thing that we can look forward to, us young people, is the new swim park, right? That I've seen kind of being built and it's still working on, right? So that hasn't stopped completely, right?
No.
Yeah, so that's something we can look forward to, a nice,
Yes.
like some awesome stuff at Truxton Park. So we want to move into hearing from our young people. So we have a series of questions, and they're not zingers, and this isn't a quiz because I know you all are not in the actual classroom, but I'll jump off with my question, which is for Sarah and for Sam. So beginning with Sarah, how has the quarantine, social distancing, and kind of all the changes that you've experienced and the things that are affecting you, your family and your friends, like how's it been? How have those changes affected you?
Those changes affected me in the way I'm able to interact with those people, even though we aren't really physically able to like talk to each other within a close distance. We still find ways to like move around by like chatting on social media and things like that. And so I feel like we've got around with in terms of interaction, but it's just seeing that person like right next to you just feels better. The way it's affected my family is, since my parents are essential workers for their job, they are pulled to their work more and they're being more cautious, and they get to hear more of the warnings first than I guess more of my family does. So yeah, that's how it's been going for me and my family. We're still kind of adjusting to it because it's really hectic, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I appreciate you answering the question and sharing with us what's going on, in your life and with your family. So Sam, how's the quarantine, social distancing, and all these changes that have affected us, and your family and your friends, like what's that been like?
It's affected me because like I have to learn a whole new way to like learn and see my friends, like so I can't see them. It's affected my family because we all have to like learn how to be in this new way of life and how to do with this e-learning and the social distancing and how to be safe and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. And do you all have a pet?
Yes, we have a dog.
And how's your dog handling it?
What?
How's your dog handling it?
I think she's very stressed because we're all home at the same time.
Right.
And she's used to her alone time.
Okay. Well, thank you all for answering this question. Dewan, you have a question for them?
I do. So my questions are for Akil and Raphael, and is how hard has social distancing been? Similar question. Has it been difficult navigating this new area?
I think that social distancing is pretty easy to accomplish. It's just that sometimes you just forget when other things is on your mind, when you're in the store, you just forget that you need to be 6 feet away from each other so you don't contract the virus, or if you do have it asymptomatically, you don't spread it to someone else. So I think that it's just the hard part is just hugging your family members and different things like that. It's a whole bunch of fist bumping and elbow tapping and dapping up with your feet instead of your hands. It's just a whole different aspect that you never thought you would have to use, but now you do, and it's just very hard to adjust to. But you all also know that you have to do it in order for just things to get better. We have to social distance.
Akil, how old are you?
14.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. Social distancing is pretty easy to accomplish. You just have to like he said, stay 6 feet away, possibly just stay indoors and stuff. So it hasn't really been a problem for me. But since my parents are what's it called? Essential workers or something like that, they go to regular work and they have I'm sorry, they have a risk of getting it, so they just have to remember to social distance or something like that.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 13.
All right. Thank you. So Mo, do you have a question for some people? Some of our young people?
Yeah. So my question is for Sarah and Yolanda. Has this changed your thinking about the future? And if so, how?
Could you repeat the question again?
I said, has this changed your thinking about the future? And if so, how has it?
It hasn't really changed my thinking for the future. A part of me is thinking we can really get through this because, when we all come together and stuff, we can do anything. So if we continue to keep washing your hands and do the safety procedure, then I feel as if I don't think that, anything.
Okay. And
I personally, it's changed my way of thinking about the future because it makes me think more after when this whole thing blows over, we're going to be more attentive when it comes to healthcare and things of more, I guess, surprise viruses. We're going to be more attentive towards those. And it's going to make me think that we're probably going to be more alert in the future about our population.
okay, thank you. So I have a question for John Thomas. And if your other brother is around, is he still wanna answer a question? But besides e-learning, so this is for both of you all. So besides e-learning, what have you all been doing to stay busy? What types of things have you been doing to keep you from losing your mind?
Playing cars.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Playing games with my family and playing with my cars and taking my dog on a walk. And playing Minecraft Uno with my whole family.
Everybody plays Minecraft?
Uno.
Minecraft Uno.
Oh, Uno. And that's the card game, right? I used to play that too. So what other things, what other things have you all been doing? To take your mind off besides e-learning? You think of one or two more things?
Star Wars?
Star Wars? Okay.
We watched the whole Star Wars, all the movies.
Oh man. I'm gonna age myself, but I saw Star Wars when it came out in the movie theater, the first one when I was a kid. Great story. So DeJuan, do you have another question for them?
Yeah, way to age yourself, Will.
I know. It's yeah.
So I guess general question. I'll open it up so that everyone feels free to chime in, and I'll share mine as well. What are you most looking forward to once the pandemic is over and we slowly start to ease in to what was a normal society again? I think I'm most looking forward to hanging out with friends and enjoying some time. Hopefully it'll be summertime. We're out of here and we're in the sailing capital. I can't wait to get on a boat. What about you guys?
What was the question? Oh. What was the question again? People look scared, or else they're not muting it.
What are you most looking forward to once the stay at home is lifted and we're able to go back out into society and Are you looking forward to the malls? Are you looking forward to even going back to school? What are the interests?
Is this for like the whole group or the person? Okay.
Yeah.
You can go. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting back to my friends and to my school, and then to be going to the pool and then going on my boat because we can't go on our boat.
Stephen, can you hear me?
Yes.
What are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to once all this is over?
Definitely getting back to work with Reach Production with the Reach program. That's basically most. So I do miss.
Stephen's having some technical difficulties that we'll get back to. Akil, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to going back to school, kind of, sort of. Let me explain. Me and Ralph at our school, he started the campaign for our cell phone policy that our principal introduced, and he actually and a couple other people ran around the school through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade and got handwritten signatures from all different kids to rally against the cell phone policy, because we stated that it was kind of necessary in a sense that we should have our phones during the school day, because sometimes we can listen to music for people who need music therapy, and just to have it on, even though we might not be using it, just so we can have it on us. So he sent me over the work, and we scanned it through the printer, and we handwritten a letter, and we put it in envelopes and sent it to the teacher, but we never had the chance to meet with her before the schools got closed. So I'm just looking forward to going back there and wrapping that up. And I'm also looking forward to see if our water fountains are installed, because I'm not sure if you guys know, but I am the Student Governor Association president at our school, and we have rallied up together to raise money for our water fountains, because as of right now, we have many water fountains in our school, but they're disgusting and don't work. So we just want to get some that are actually drinkable and usable that we can use. So we're just waiting on that. So to get a timeline to see if they're installed. So we're just waiting on that. So hopefully when we get back into school, we can wrap that up too as well. Just a lot of things that were on the loose end that I hope to get tied up before I head over to 9th grade at Annapolis High School.
All right. And how old are you again?
14.
All right. I just want to throw that in there for those of us that are feeling threatened by the amount of intelligence you all have for our age. So Stephen seems to have dropped off. I think he's having problems with his connection. But I also want to give a shout out to Principal Hunt from Annapolis Middle School, who's in the family, but also an amazing new principal there. So I'd like to ask Yolanda a question. And this question is about how's it been having to do schoolwork? This is kind of a basic question, but how's it been having to do schoolwork but not actually be in school? Like what?
It's been a challenge, but I've learned to adjust it by making a schedule to do my classes each week. But over the past week, I'm starting to feel more comfortable being online and using a computer, since I still have that opportunity to get help from my teachers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I want to also ask this question to our county councilwoman. What's it been like having to teach when you can't be actually in a classroom with your students?
This is especially interesting because I teach chorus. Imagine teaching chorus is a little tricky. We can't really sing together when we're not all in the same room. So I've totally reinvented the wheel for now. We're doing music theory, learning about music notation, but I know my kids signed up for chorus because they want to sing. So I'm working on ways to get my kids singing. I don't know if you've seen any of those cool videos where it actually sort of looks like, the Brady Bunch screen. and all the people are singing. Well, I hope to do something like that. It takes a whole lot of technological knowledge that is beyond my skill level, but I'm looking for ways to do something like that because I know my kids, they want to sing. Mm-hmm. Music theory is good. It's important to know, but especially now, I think people need the arts, just to let it out.
Absolutely.
Sing even in the shower.
Mm-hmm. So Mayor Buckley, do you have a question for the young people?
So I think my question is the same along the line. What do you think is the most important thing to do when you come out of this? But do any of you feel like now is the right time? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? We look at other states around the country and they seem to be moving ahead with things. But I would like to get a young person's perspective on that. I have my opinion. Does anyone want to say if they think we're ready?
I don't think we are. Well, at least not as soon as we think we do. Because although I feel like we are getting better with this, I just feel like it might be a little too soon if we do it maybe within the next month.
And you would say that not just for yourself though, but for your grandparents and for the police officers and the nurses and doctors. Would you guys all agree with that?
All right. So Mo, do you have a question?
I think if we do make a decision to open things up, it needs to be like a collective decision. Like Annapolis just can't open up when Glen Burnie, Bowie, and different cities and towns around Maryland are still closed. Because it's so easy for someone to travel borders, just like what Governor Cuomo was saying, people can leave New York and travel to Connecticut and different things like that. So if you're going to open or close something, it has to be done within a region or nationally or locally, even though like one county can open, but all 24 jurisdictions of Maryland need to open, not just Anne Arundel County or PG or Howard or any of them.
I'm sorry. And how old are you again?
14.
So Mo, did you have a question on that you'd like to ask some of the young people?
Yeah. I'm trying. I feel old because I'm really bad at using this Zoom. So, is there anything that anyone can do to help or support young people to make it easier or less stressful for them?
Who's that question for?
That's an open discussion, by the way.
Who's that? Oh, okay, it's open. Okay.
So we have counselors on hand through the county. If any young person needs to talk to someone, we understand this is really hard. It's something no one's ever had to deal with before. And so don't be ashamed if you're depressed or if anything feels tough, because everybody is in the same boat. It's not just, just the city of Annapolis, it's the county, it's the state, it's the country, and it's the rest of the world. So everybody is in this together. And I hope that we become better people on the other side of this, that we realize that we all are connected. And that global connection is the only way that we're gonna heal the planet and that we're gonna move past this, because this is a drill. This is something that we've had to adjust to on the fly, but we'd have to realize this is also a part of our future now. So there will be a COVID-20 or 21 or whatever, there'll be some other things, but at least now we've been made aware of this, and as devastating as it is, I hope our federal governments will act. We know plenty of governments around the world have changed their patterns and are in a better position now because of what's just happened to all of us.
Yep. So Dewan, do you have a question you want to ask the young people?
Yeah.
And to whom?
And by the way, Akil is spot on with everything he's saying, and he's even mentioning Governor Cuomo's advice, which is critical, and that ties into next question is, how are you guys receiving the news? I know a lot of the times we can get it through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, many of our social media apps, but how are you guys, how have you guys been receiving the news over the course of the pandemic?
All right.
I've been getting through my parents, and also just like my teachers have been saying stuff, and my parents, and that's mostly where I'm getting my news from.
I'm getting my news from like social media. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on social media posting about it. So yeah, and I'll kind of like watch the news. So that's why I began the news and stuff.
Like on social media, that's where I find most of the news, and I watch it on TV. That's where it tells me about the school closings or extensions that has happened in my area.
I get all my news from the TV. I watch it with my dad.
What particular social media, when you say social media, again, for us older folks, what particular do you mean?
Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all this. Probably like most social media platforms.
Okay.
I'm not sure, Will, if you're aware there's this new thing called TikTok that the kids.
No, I thought that was a dance. The other question that I have, and this is for Stephen. Stephen keeps dropping off, and I feel so bad because I keep wanting to ask him a question, and whenever I get to doing it, he seems to have had connection issues. So I'll ask this question for Yolanda, and I'll also ask this question for Sam. So have you or your family started doing anything new or different that you really enjoy? Like, since we've been going through this, is there something that you've discovered different with your family?
We've been doing lots of different things, such as having a game or movie night every day. And on Sundays, we continue to have church within our household because unfortunately, God's house is closed. And personally, I've been working out every day to stay in shape for track for when it comes up this upcoming year.
So you run track?
Yes.
Okay, what's that been like? Can you get out and run still?
It's been a challenge since our season was canceled, but I'm gonna come back my senior year and it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. So what grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, okay. So do you have friends that are graduating this year?
A couple of them.
Yeah, and how are they taking it? How are they feeling?
They are pretty upset that all this is happening, that they can't actually walk on stage and get the chance to even go to prom either. Because I know some of them already brought their prom dresses.
Yeah.
And stuff, so it's really upsetting.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask Sam also, like, what new cool things are they doing that they didn't do before?
We've been taking really long dog walks. So over to to Hawkins Cove, right near my house. Then we've also been having, as she said, the same thing. We've been doing game night and movie night, and me and my brothers have been spending more time together.
Okay.
More than we usually have.
All right. Are you all fighting or anything?
Maybe.
Because I know how that can be. Boy, when you're all in one area, it's like competition time. So Mayor Buckley, this is a question I wanted to ask you on that same note. Like, have you all been doing anything different around your household? Anything fun and interesting since this?
What I think, out of a terrible thing, there are some positives, right? So there are more people walking than I've ever seen in my life. There are more people biking in the city. It's a good time to ask your parents for a better bike. There are more people discovering parks that they didn't know we had in the city and in the county. So that's a good thing. There are less people driving cars. So there are less people burning carbon fuels and polluting the planet. So there are good things that we should model after this. And the best thing I want to say is for all you guys is you were right. You know, we now have to come into your digital world. We now have to learn how to communicate on screen. So when your parents are telling you to get out of your screen or get off your phone or out of your computer, because they don't think it's social, they've now learned that it actually is social. That when you're on that screen, you've got 10 or 20 of your buddies around or drop it in at different times. So now we're learning from you. And so that's another positive thing. This is going to be part of the future, what we're doing here. A lot of offices are not going to be necessary anymore because we've learned how to get things done on a screen. And it's just as effective. And so it's better for the planet. So there are good things that have come out of it. Obviously, connecting with your kids again, trying to think of different things, games to play at home or force them to go on walks with you. My kids love that.
Thank you, Mayor Buckley. So I know we do have, the mayor has a question for you, for all of you all young people. Mr. Mayor?
So my question would be, and this is why we're here, to find the Greta Thunberg COVID-19. What would you do if you were mayor? What's the thing I should do as a mayor that addresses what the things that you care about the most?
Make sure that there's not like large groups of people or people like people that are outside like with friends and stuff, and make sure that everyone is being like by themselves or with their family instead of like being out and stuff.
Okay.
I agree. I feel like we should stay wearing masks and gloves and continue to practice social distancing with washing your hands. And I feel like if we can do this, then we could slow down the spread of the virus across the U.S.
All right. Who else?
I would say I was
And
downtown.
one of you probably is going to be mayor, so I'll help you run your campaign.
Akil?
Sorry, Akil.
Okay. I was downtown on the 15th last week, and I noticed that there were so many people just downtown with no mask on, even though everything was closed down in Eagle Alley, and just on Main Street, there were so many people out. There was line in front of Mission Barbecue and stores and stuff like that. They were still open, Chipotle and different stores like that. But the people, they were walking their dogs, and I'm not sure if it can spread through animals, but the dogs were still close with each other. Like the people were distant, but their leash was 12 feet away from them. So their dog is walking in the street and touching people while you are off kind of still social distancing. So I just think that, and it should be mandated throughout the whole city that there should be masks even outside, even though you're not in a public, even it is a public place, but you're not like inside and enclosed or anything like that. But I still think you should still have a mask on because it's like, I don't know, it just seems really weird just seeing everyone with no mask on and people just talking. And some people weren't social distancing. Some people was just sitting next to each other, seeing like they haven't seen each other in a while, and just having the casual conversation when there's a pandemic happening.
Wow. Okay. John Thomas, if you were mayor.
If you were mayor.
I'd say be calm. Don't like be close to other people. Stay 6 or 7 feet away from other people.
If you were mayor, what would you do? What would you do? If you were Mayor Gavin, what would you do?
Find a way to cure it.
Oh, nice.
Oh. All right. You got your marching orders. All right. So, Sarah.
If I was mayor, I would also want to stay calm as much as I can. So, because if the people see that you're calm, they'll try to like follow because even though this is very serious and you're taking it very seriously, they know that like they're safe because you know that you can handle it and you can help guide your people to be safe, make sure sanitizing all the time, well, not all the time, but when very needed to. And just, yeah, keeping the mask and 6 feet rule.
Thank you.
Also,
do we-
I have something to add to mine. My mom was telling me that I should say this because some of my friends that live like across the street from me or next to me, they don't have Wi-Fi, so it would be good if there was like access to Wi-Fi that people could get.
Okay. I think we're working on that. I think we're working on that. So I have a question. I think we got to everyone. Raphael, did we get to you? If you were mayor, what would you do to help young people?
If I was mayor, I would make sure everybody's calm, everybody has enough supplies to last them through this quarantine, and make sure everybody's good and healthy, and yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we all appreciate the answers to that question. I know it's a little threatening for Mayor Gavin Buckley, but luckily he has time, so we'll work on the cure, and he will take it from there. So a question that we had from our audience that is listening in for you all is about, or her comment was about mental health services for young people. And I know that we do have an answer for that, and also we have a question. And one of these questions is for our councilwoman, our county councilwoman, and the question is: are school counselors available for students who are struggling with the emotional challenges? Would you know that, Lisa Rodney?
I will do my best to answer. I can't always speak on behalf of AACPS, but
Yes.
I believe the answer is yes.
Okay.
I think if you are trying to reach out to your school counselor, just start by calling your school principal.
Okay.
Or if emailing is an easier way to get in touch with your school principal, I believe the answer is yes. Most of the school support staff, the school psychologists, the PPWs, the student advocates are available.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question. We're moving along, and we do have a slide we're going to put up while I ask this question to provide you all with some numbers and some information. One of the questions I have for all of you all as students, and this is for the young people, is have you had any technical difficulties with connecting to your e-learning or schoolwork you're supposed to be doing? How's that been? Has it been smooth technically?
Before this all happened, I had Google Classroom, so now it's been much easier since I've had it before and used it in the past, so I haven't had any technical difficulties with it.
Okay, so it's going smoothly? And you feel like you're on track?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
On top of it.
All right, there you go. Raphael?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Have you had any technical issues with e-learning, with learning outside of the classroom?
No, everything's been going pretty smoothly. Yeah, it's pretty easy to adjust to it. My teachers helped a lot with that, explaining how to use it and everything.
Okay, all right.
So it's been pretty easy.
All right, thank you. Akil? You got to unmute yourself.
I think I'm unmuted now. But it's been kind of easy because the platform we use is Google Classroom. Okay. And throughout the different classes, we've been using that for a while now. And just taking like performance matters tests for math online has been pretty easy. And even the gradebook now is easy on your phone. You can download the app, input your username and password, and you can see your grades and everything like that. So I haven't had any technical difficulties, but just advancing on and seeing how far we can go with it is just pretty cool to see.
All right, thank you. So really quickly, John Thomas and Sam, either one of you had any technical issues?
I haven't, but my little brothers, I've used Google Classroom before. But my little brothers, they hadn't before, so they were having technical difficulties getting onto that. But then their teachers were like helping them get on and stuff. Which
All
made
right.
it easy.
Thank you. You're a good big brother. So this is a question for the mayor, and I want to do a time check. We're getting ready to wrap up soon. But one of the questions we got, Mr. Mayor, was, can the city do anything special to honor 2020 graduates?
That's a great question, and we're working on some ideas now. I don't know if we can do some kind of prom at the dock or something like that, 'cause it's a big moment for graduates, and that's one of the things that you remember for your whole life. So we're going to work on some ideas. It's going to depend on the governor when we're allowed to get back together. Remember, we have to phase this in, so we probably won't be able to have big crowds straight away, but maybe if we feel confident enough, or the governor feels confident enough that we can do bigger events, we would like to try to work out an idea on that front, because I think it really is a big thing that you're missing out on. It's a big sacrifice, and we're so sorry about it. But we're going to work on some ideas, and you can send your ideas into the city as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I want to
I just want to let everybody know that there's a group on Facebook called Adopt Annapolis High School Senior.
Oh.
And you can go and you can adopt a high school senior and, help give them presents and support them through these last few months because it's really difficult.
Okay, who are you? I'm sorry, are you?
I'm Jess.
She doesn't look 12.
I'm the mom. I'm not 12, but I just wanted to share that because it's really important that we support our seniors because this is a really hard time.
There we go. And she's an education advocate. So I want to share some information really quickly so we can move along. But Pantry on the Go is having an event on Monday, April 27th in Annapolis. We're doing a healthy snacks drop-off, and that's in partnership with a bunch of different people who are completely awesome, Rob Levitt and others. This is the flyer right here, and we'll be sure to post all of this. All of this is posted on Annapolis.gov. And okay, that's on there. So, 11 a.m., they'll be at Bay Ridge Gardens. 12:30, they'll be at Stanton Center. Chromebooks, we have someone in the mayor's office and in the city who's diligently looking at the Chromebooks delivery that's going to be happening with children. They now have equipment, and they want families to contact their child's teacher, principal, or school official to get instructions on how to pick up their equipment. That's very, very important. We want you all to spread the word to families who haven't gotten equipment from the school system yet. And as I said, there are people working on that, in particular children from that are served by the Partnership for Children, Youth, and Families, that they also have additional equipment that they'll be providing. Light of the World Family Ministries on Monday, April 27th at Pip Moyer Recreation Center from 12:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. We'll also be providing resources and food to people as a drop-off. And again, go to Annapolis.gov to find out more information about some of these other things. I wanted to really quickly throw in that there are 9 documentaries. I saw something on CNN.com about 9 documentaries for kids and teens that are also educational, but they're pretty cool. So you can go to CNN.com and look up, as you're watching movies and looking at cool things, there's also a chance to learn some stuff. So I want to thank you all for being here. I want to let our mayor.
Well, I just wanted to add quickly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Saturday, no, it's fine. This Saturday at 12 o'clock at Tyler Heights Elementary School, there will also be a food drive.
And can you say that time again?
At 12 o'clock noon.
Okay, so Tyler Heights Elementary at 12 o'clock noon. There's an opportunity for people to receive resources, food and stuff like that, right? Okay. About grading. So one of the questions we have, last question from our viewing public is, how do you feel about grading? How do you feel about grading? I don't understand that myself, but do you all understand what's meant by grading?
There's a pass-fail for this term, right?
Okay. All right. How do you all feel about that?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question too. So.
Okay. I'm way out of the loop. Yolanda? You're muted, Yolanda.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Mr. Mayor, you want to repeat the question?
Yeah, how do you feel about this term's decision by the Board of Education to just do a pass-fail? I think that's how they're calling it. So because we understand that this is a new medium everyone's working in, and because there's a lot more challenges that we haven't prepared people for, they made the decision that it wouldn't be great the normal way it is. You all know that?
Those should just pass then?
Sorry?
Those should just pass?
Can I chime in for a sec?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Let's let the teachers.
I believe, and again, I can't, I'm teaching middle school now, but I believe high school students have a choice. At least that was the plan, and whether or not that can be fully implemented is still, they're still investigating that, but there was the possibility of high school students having a choice between a pass, fail, or a letter grade.
Yep.
So
And everyone else pass, fail.
So you would literally just get on your card, maybe I passed this course or I failed this course?
I think they're still working it through, but this is just stuff that I've read. I'm not any expert on it, but I understand why they're given that option, because there are a lot of different challenges in learning this way without being able to sort of physically touch your teacher,
I think as John Thomas, most important thing is making sure that we have Wi-Fi connectivity for all families, because that can be very dangerous if we operate on a pass-fail. We end up failing a majority of the students who don't have access, and they're failed based simply off the fact that they didn't have access to that Wi-Fi, to that connectivity. So that's definitely something that we should pay close attention to.
All right, I'm on mute, but I briefly wanted to say or share with you some information about COVID, which you feel like everyone knows, but because we have you all here and you all are the greatest communicators amongst your peers, that what should you do if you're sick? You want to separate yourself from others. You want to cover your coughs and sneezes. You want to avoid sharing household items. And you want to clean those surfaces that are being touched a lot. So can you all just blurt out like surfaces that are touched a lot?
Doorknob.
Doorknobs, there you go. What else, y'all?
Countertops.
Mm-hmm. So like, what?
The faucet.
Yep.
Silverware.
Yep.
Telephones,
cell phones.
Light
'cause,
switch.
Yeah, light fixtures. Mo?
Remote controls.
Bathrooms.
Okay. So what you also want to do is wash your hands often, which we all hear, but you also, want to just pay attention to people that are around you. And so if you are, and that includes paying attention to people that are older than you, people that are younger than you, but also cleaning and disinfecting as you go along, which all of us can do regardless of our age. And I'm so excited. We're all so excited. All of us here at City Hall in the city, all of our council persons who are not on this call today, but they care very much and they are a part of this. The mayor's staff, all of the staff, all city departments are all working to ensure that we're able to move into the future and keep us all safe and sound. And I've learned a lot today, and I'm touched that I've been able to hear some of what you all are experiencing, and to get a taste of your knowledge. And I thank you, Alderman Dewan Gay, for being here. I thank you, Mo, for being here. Thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Ron Shea. Thank you, Sam and John Thomas. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, Lisa Radvian. And I want to thank also Stephen, who dropped off. And Mr. Mayor, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, so I want to thank your parents. And I want to thank you guys for being kind to your parents, because they're still working it out. I want to thank you for washing your hands. I want to thank you for putting these on when you're supposed to put these on. Thank you. I want to thank you for keeping social distance. And I want you to know that this city is safe. You're in a safe place. We have an emergency command center 2 floors underground in a secret location, that it is monitoring everything. And so you have a good team, and this is a good place to be during a terrible thing. And one thing we got to learn from this is all the things that might have divided us before, you know, religion and race and nationalism and individualism, all those things that sort of try to divide us don't matter anymore, because if we don't work this out together, then we're not going to survive. And we are working it out together. There will be that time when we're on the other side of this and you're doing all the cool things you used to do. It's going to come up soon. And then maybe another time that we have to go back into this position, because that's just being sensible. But we are going to get through it. You're going to get to hug all the people you love, and know that this city cares about you. I'd love to keep this group together so that we can do other things in the future and get young voices involved, because it's the most important thing. I say this to Alderman Gay all the time. For young people, if you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu. So we want to make sure you have a seat at the table. So thank you.
Take care, you all, and thank you very much, young people.
Thank you.
All right.
Please say
Bye.
Thank you.